we need to flood the planet with love. 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 We need to flood the planet with love.
All right, so we're here with Thomas Hadlick. How do you say your last name?
No, Thomas Valentine Holland, and I'm known as Valentine worldwide.
Valentine worldwide.
Valentine's my family name. Just so you know, I'm being told I'm 9 generations now. 5 on my father's side, 4 on my mom's, and it's Valentine, Valentine, Valencia, Valentino. They'll be Valentino. All the Italians love to call me Valentino. South America, Valentino.
Valentino. Maestro, that's I try to go all of a sudden I get into my Yiddish. I'm Italian and segue into Yiddish. I got the languages. Sometimes I'll say like 3 words in a, and then each one will be a different language, There you
go. Beautiful. Yeah, well, I get along very well with Italian people because I'm from the metropolitan New York, the melting pot, and my mentor was Italian. I mean, he was world renowned. He had television shows. He was in Hollywood, and he would give love to people, hug people, and hand to hand, embrace one another. And that's what we need to do in the world now. The reason I'm bringing out the golden rose is because this is my talking stick, brother. This is actually a pure golden rose. It's not a fake one, a covered one. This was given to me by White Feather. She's Cherokee Indian. She said, "This is your talking stick," and I was told to send it to you. It was given to me as a divine love gift from Colorado, and it's a pure golden rose. And that's your life's work, is to bring the purity to people. I want you to have this for your life's work. I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm usually up at 2, 3 in the morning. I'm a channel, and I get movie clips and film clips on, okay, God, where do you want me? And start showing me who I'm going to touch in the next 24 hours or 48 hours. I'm going to meet in Hawaii, and prayer goes out, and people know where to turn and say, God, send me a messenger. And that's my life's work, as a messenger, to give hope and to give real hope to people, not false hope, and to help them through their illnesses, their blockages, or their, I work with Parkinson's, leukemia, cancer, skull. It doesn't matter what it is, David. I don't, but I'm used as that vessel to connect and bring people out of their misery, suffering, and sorrow. Yeah?
Beautiful. We're here to interview for the purpose of being on television, and I think it's noteworthy because people need to be connected to the stars in the world. The stars in the world give light, they give inspiration, and it comes from merit. When you merit something, like you get to be on television, not because you stole a car or because you got maybe because you got a 30-point basketball shot. Something, well, that's, there's stardom in there too. And we're talking today about a different kind of stardom, a pure stardom. And it's a stardom that we don't need compliments for, and we don't need the honor. The honor is the humility of it, to be humbled by the opportunity to share light. And the light expands through humility. And it's kind of tough out there because people don't really want to recognize when someone has light, and they'll be jealous of it and they'll try to shut it down. And then it tends to get you into an ego battle, and it's the last thing that someone who's on the path of righteousness and climbing the mountain of the Lord is to get pulled into another person's deceptive, ego battle.
Yes. Yeah, right on. And it's really beautiful the way you enunciate it and the way you expressed it and engaged in that information, because people don't realize what you just said is a lot of wisdom, brother, a lot of experience and background.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. The Buddhist came to me in Hawaii here. He's a prayer warrior. He goes, I want to thank you. He said in the conversation, while he's sitting there, he said, since you walked in, the whole place is flooded with people. We were here alone. That's the energy that we exude in the presence. It's, and then he said to me, I want to thank you for helping me with helping the planet and the people for less suffering. And that's what we need to do, David. That's what we need to do. Help people less suffering if we have the knowledge and wisdom and the knowing. And you have to do your work in order to do that. If you don't love yourself, if you don't really work on yourself, you're not going to be able to help humanity or help people. You got to help yourself first and really have clarity in order to help others. Yeah?
So let me ask you about suffering for a minute so I can get some clarity, both for myself and
Sure.
the listeners. So we could suffer physically, but we could also suffer mentally and emotionally. So suffering physically is one thing, you're actually suffering. But I think a lot of the suffering that you're talking about is an outlook point of view. It's from like a perspective. You can have one person who's just got a teeny little ache and pain, and they're kvetching and complaining and whining the whole day through and yanking everyone into their little web of complaining. And then you can have somebody who's got terrible cancer or something, and they're smiling all the way through, and they're not burdening other people with their suffering.
Yes.
So
yes. And that happened. Yes.
So
and that happened with Ram Dass over here in Hawaii. I don't know if you heard of Ram Dass.
Yeah, I heard the name, and I might have a book of his somewhere in my collection of books.
He'd be with me. Wayne Dyer was up on the stage, and he's with me. Ram Dass, and I can feel his presence. He can feel mine. And I turn around, and he goes, "Nice to see you, Valentine." He was in a wheelchair and stuff, and he was just beaming with love. He goes, I'm working on my thing, and I work with him, with acupuncturists. I said, why don't you, I said to Ram Dass, because he's from Boston, he's from India, he had all his mentors and followers from around the world. I'm sure, Ram Dass, be in the moment, be here now. His book went globally in all the languages around the world.
Right, I had that book in college. Yeah.
So in homage to him, because he just crossed over within a year ago when I was doing the video in Eel Valley. You'll see it on my YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. But only I use the YouTube channel for interviews. I don't do the YouTube channel any longer. I only get interviewed. I entertain that if it's in the flow. So if people look it up with my name, they'll see my past 24 international inspirational videos that went globally to help humanity. And the other thing I just want to mention, and podcast also, but when people, if they look up my full name when you write it in, David, that I was nominated out of billions of videos, and I don't think you're aware of it either. I was nominated for the Flower of Life Peace Award for 2019 and 2020 because they made the decision on social media in the fall of 2019. So they said you're in with 220 because it was later, like December. They nominated all the world leaders, including Trump, including Sun Moon from South Korea, a guy with cancer, Rick Simpson, which he does the cancer, helping people with the CV oil and all. He was the originator, and my director, William Otsko, that was developing a movie on my life, said that I want to do a documentary of him, but I want to do your movie because you have a very important message for the world. and it's not about me. It's about humanity. You know what I'm saying? And so they had even Little Rocket Band with me. And I go, why'd you put people with these world leaders? They said, because they need healing, Valentine. I could just name four. Little Rocket Band from North Korea that Trump had to deal with. You know what I mean? I mean, I was in shock. And then he put this president from Uruguay, a past president, all presidents with me. And I'm going, wow, I guess God's message is really getting through, that people want to hear about healing and about authentic healing, and not telling people a story about leading the country, about leading by walking your talk, but by walking your talk, not talking your talk. You know what I mean? We have too much talking and not walking on the planet, on Mother Earth, right?
Right. So say more about what we need to do in terms of walking and not talking. What specific things we need to? What specifics?
Well, what we need to do, we have to get into our purity, brother. Whatever that takes in your purity. I had to go into sweat lodges. People may go to church. They go into prayer. They get on there. I'll tell you, kneeling will get you out of your ego. When you kneel and you connect to the creation of God, let me tell you, you said, okay, I surrender now. I'm surrendering. Whatever it is that you need to surrender to, I don't care if you lay on the earth and you're in the nature. Nature's the best blessing, best healing that you can. That's why we need to keep our nature alive and pure. Under a coconut tree, like you have in back of you there in Florida, in Hawaii, like we're in Hawaii together with the coconut tree. And I don't care whatever kind of tree it is, because that's your life force. The tree is giving you energy. If you meditate, whatever it is that you need to clear physically, so it's mind, body, and spirit. My specialty is the emotional. I didn't know that, but people come to me. That's what I need. I need the emotion. I need to do the clearing. Okay, this is who you need to see. So I went into a sweat lodge with the Lakota, and with the Lakota Indians here in Hawaii, and it's a lodge where I work with the medicine moose. They call me Moose Heart, just like Braveheart with Kevin Costner. They call me Moose Heart. I don't look like a moose, but that's the power. And I work with the feminine energy, not just the male and the female, the balance. The female energy comes out of nowhere, they said. And I experienced the moose in Sweden is when the lodge leaders, he was from Alaska, Makeshta, here in Hawaii, and Sage, which her name is Jessima, with the Buddhists and with the Dalai Lama, stays at her home, and we named it the Lama Room. And I was with him in Denmark. Actually, the Dalai Lama and I have the same birthday, July 6th, different year. When I was in Denmark and Sweden for 2 years, and I was supposed to be there for 3 months, David. So, and I watched all these people, since you mentioned about the healing, how do you do it? People in Denmark and Sweden are like, hey, how do I get to fly? How do I get to ground and fly? I'm done, and I would hug them, right? And they would start to fly. They want to run up the hill and start, because they feel the solar energy, what I was ignited by in the wilderness, which is the central sun energy, which doesn't burn you on the earth plane. It's the heavenly light. I experienced the heavenly light to bring it down here with an African shaman and a yogi. Her name's Reverend Celeste Starr and Vibe. And they said, she brought me up into the mountains, this Reverend Starr and celestial star. And she said, take these rivers of water and give it to your brothers and sisters. And I haven't stopped since. And this is since 1991. I knew that I was here on purpose. And that's what we need to do. Once we find our God-given mission or purpose, then you're ignited to go forward and to help Mother Earth, to help humanity, to help your brothers, your communities, your families. That's what we need to do. We need to flood the earth with kindness, with love, with divine love, spiritual love. Not love that you get together and just say, oh, well, I love you and all that. No, authentic love, spiritual love. You know what I'm saying? We need to stay connected authentically together. And I think that all this that's going around the planet right now is uniting us to come forward to bring that divine spark of love within each of our brothers and sisters, no matter what place they are in their lives, that they know that they're divinely loved. And that's what I named the movie, the story. Well, I was given it called The Diamonds of Love. And the Buddhist said to me, get this, I'm in Denmark and I'm doing healing work. I'm supposed to be there for 3 months. With a Danish healer, she's a sound healer, Corinne Shelda. She's over in New Zealand right now. And I leave here from Hawaii. She lived in Hawaii. And I go over there, and it's an international group that they want me to come in to do the healing work with. And I said, this Buddhist, he's got all the painted on him, on his chest and all. He said, Valentine, I prayed about you. He said, I'm going to do the healing work, but they told me this. The greatest gift that you have, that you share with every soul, wherever you go, is the diamonds of love. That is your gift to the world. And it's not for me, that it's for us all to come together. And that's what I've been doing my whole life since on my paper route, is uniting people to bring that spark of joy, of happiness, that spark, that golden angel, because I experienced the golden angels in the wilderness. They're smiling at me like little Pillsbury boys and Pillsbury girls. They're smiling at me like cherubs, and robust and happy, and just beaming at me, because I opened up to that dimension. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds good. What are some of the practices, do you think, other than doing the sweat lodge? Everyone seems to have their path, but maybe there are some general things that we could do, like even a raw food diet, or
drinking water. I'm telling you, the purity of water. You go in the shower, you get clear you go into your purity, and you'll see things start happening in your life when you get clear with the purity. With water, meaning cleanse your body away from all the static of life and everything around you at night. During the day, go in the tub. I'll tell you what's a really good thing, cleanser for people around the world, is to get in the tub with Epsom salts and lavender or any kind of essential oils if you want. The Epsom salts will calm your body. The Epsom salts will put you in a state of consciousness where you will then be like in relaxed state, that you can then go out of the body, or you can get those dreams. And what I recommend also is to be in Hamid when the sun is rising. It's very important for your eyes and your eyesight. Outside of all this, the natural lighting's the best for your third eye here in the sun. You close your eyes because you can keep your eyes open, but you got to know what you're doing, because you don't want to burn anything out early in the morning. You want to keep your eyes closed. You can keep them up for a little bit. People that are, that are advanced souls that understand what to do with the sun. I don't want anybody to get hurt. You got to know what you're doing, But you just to feel the radiation of that sun hitting the third eye, your solar plexus. Get that vitamin D. My brothers, the Dr. Sunshine, they call him out of the New York Times. My brother, Dr. Michael Holland, is the godfather of vitamin D and D3 globally, and that's his research of 45 years, and his foundations and everything in regards to photo light. He researched it, and he believed it since he was in his 20s. He had the sun tie in college at Seton Hall. I remember, that he came in with it as a sun, with the sunshine. So we need the sunshine, definitely with the vitamin D, but in the sun in the morning, in the evening. I would go during the day, after a period of time, get your body acclimated with exercise, nutrition. What you put in is what you put out. What you put in you are, especially in your gut. If you don't do the clearing in your gut, I'll tell you, artichokes are great to clear the system. If you put it in salads or just eat, I eat them just as they'll clear your system. Make a shake in the morning. What I do is I put face yogurt, Greek yogurt for the Greeks, right? Blueberries, organic blueberries. If you have other blueberries, that's fine. I put in cacao. I put in hemp seeds. You can put almond butter in. Tom Brady likes to put almond butter in. And he won the Super Bowl. And he talks about his nutrition kept him as an athlete. No matter how you feel about him, he's actually promoting health around the world, even outside of him getting drunk and everything. I'm not happy about that in front of the public eye with the kids and stuff. That's not being a role model, being authentic. I know he needs to unwind, but he should do that in private and not be shown like that in the public when people look up to him around the world. You know what I'm saying? As an athlete. I'm an athlete myself as a baseball pitcher, as you know, and a Hall of Fame pitcher as a child prodigy. And when I see it as an athlete, you're going to get that. You can't win. It's a catch-22. He was so tight all the time, and he got a chance to loosen up, and then people come after you and say, well, he had avocado liquor with him, and now he can't get off the boat. You know what I mean? So what are you going to do? You can't. It's not a perfect world here, but you don't want to be promoting that for young kids looking up to somebody. I trained as an athlete to be naturally high, the way God made me, and worked with that gift as an athlete. And as a child prodigy, that's why they were developing a major movie on my life, Marlon Brando's cousin. Just the directors from Spielberg on down, I'm not kidding you, when they found out about the story, the directors were fighting over each other. William Osco, he did Alice in Wonderland the musical, so people can look up what I talked about with you, right? Remember? Alice in Wonderland the musical? Mm-hmm. Right? So he developed that. He said, look, I hate to tell you, but do you realize who you're talking to? I go, well, how come? Why are you saying that? He goes, my films, do you understand that you'll be shown like in 300 countries overnight? My films get that kind of, response when I bring it out. I go, great, that's what I've been asking for, to reach the planet, to help the people. It's not about me. It's about us all coming together in our hearts and our whatever our knowledge and wisdom we can share together, and that's the ancestors that taught us, and what we have gained is knowledge. We need to pass on to generation now. That's what we need to do, David. We need to bring the positive energy and flood the planet with that energy and move past our karma, because we do have karma. There's the reasons why we're here. Or if you don't have karma, which most of us do, we have experiences to move through it through teachers, through mentors, and people that you entrust with. And then you have to trust within yourself, your intuition. And women will tell you about their intuition. They'll expose things because they've got it. And the men have it. The men are the hunters, but they have so much responsibility that they can't, they trust their instincts on the hunting, but they're not trusting on the intuition and the heart, because the women are doing it for them, you see? But the men of light, which the women are waiting for this message, David. The men of light need to help the men that are in the darkness to bring the light to them, so the women can back off and say, now we have the men of light that we're waiting for to help these men that are telling them a story in the darkness and not being clear with them or have clarity about their intentions. Our intentions need to be pure and honest and truthful. And that's the only way you'll have your peace, not the opposite. Yeah?
It sounds like there's a lot to unpack in what you have to say. I hear people talking about, well, we have to unpack this and unpack that. I just like to unpack my goddamn suitcase and leave the rest to humanity. But right. But seriously, you have to unpack a lot of this wisdom that you have to offer. Yes. Such as, what does it mean to, for us to conquer our karma and to clear up our karma. Could you talk about that a little bit? I mean, so many things.
Yeah, well, how I did it, how I got guided was in a sweat lodge. It's called All Your Relations. That means you get clear within your body. I'm talking now, in preparation, the Lakota are very serious people. They denounced the United States. There's five of their nations. The United States came to them and said, "We want to help you," and they said, "We don't need your help. We're empowered. We know what we're here to do. It's our land. You took our land from us, so why do we need to listen to you? This is our God-given land, and we know what we went through." You know what I mean? So by going in the sweat lodge, it's a sacredness of not only sweating it out, but you got herbs, you got everything, not peyote and all that. You have to go in other dimensions. People talk about that. I'm talking about pure herbs. I'm talking about water with the rocks, steam, probably 120 degrees, 110 degrees. It could be 130. You get to the ground of the floor. You're with the men and the women. We first did it with, you'll do it with the men, and then the women will join, or vice versa. Then it's co-ed, whatever. But they were doing it as a women's lodge first here in Hawaii because her grandmother taught her that. And she said the feminine energy was just, we needed the males to balance it out. We can't just do this as women, as warrior women, which I developed. Well, I was in a book series called Warrior Women with Angel Wings. It's on Amazon. Actually, as an international author with 25 international authors, called Warrior Women with Angel Wings. And you'll see the title on the YouTube, the video. It'll show everything with Ron interviewing me, Ron Van Dyke. And you'll see him globally speaking about it. And also with Anastasia. Remember Anastasia from Russia?
I heard of her.
I don't know if you know of her?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, Anastasia was in the wilderness and stuff. You should look it up, or people that are going to listen to this. She's from Russia, and she had all the animal kingdoms where she was totally in Russia. And you look up the word, Anastasia. She had a book series like 12 around the world that went globally, regards to how the nature, how the lions, as all the lions, the protectors around her she would not be in fear of any animal because she lived in the wilderness with them, like the Planet of the Apes or something. You know what I mean? But Planet of the Apes in the sense that the animal kingdom is in harmony with you, and you're taking care of the nature, and you're not destructing their habitat. And she was in that habitat in Russia. It's called Anastasia. And then with the men, I'm bringing because we're talking about the men now.
Yeah.
Developed with the men called the book series. It's a #1 bestseller, and it went to abused women in Texas and the world. All the proceeds. I didn't accept any money for it. I did it as a gift to help humanity. Everything I do is I give everything away. And my brother gets very upset. Goes, "You could be a television evangelist, and people would send millions of dollars to you. What would you do?" Just when I was 17. He goes, "You'd give it away, wouldn't you?" I didn't have to answer him. I go, "Well, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to give things away." Right. Because more comes. Because it's a walk of faith. And it's a walk of faith I call walk of faith Hawaiian style. You'll see that in the video. And I say universal. Walk by faith, universal. If we learned to walk by faith, we wouldn't have a lot of troubles at all. So getting back to the clearing in the, I don't know why that came out, David, but it did. With the sweat lodge, what it does is it gives you an opportunity to move through your karma, as you mentioned. Anything, it's called homitakiasan in Indian, in their language, all our relations. We have to get right with all our generations, all our mom and dad, our brothers and sisters, our blood family, our spiritual family, whatever it is that's unresolved. You go in and you start to release things by prayer. prayer is powerful. Powerful, moves mountains, right? So, and I'm telling you, you sweat. I mean, we're talking, your body is like vibrating at a frequency of light, because it's moving through all the toxins and clearing you, and doing a clearing. And then you start putting pure things into your temple when you do the clearing. Now, I did it for 2 years, and get this. Now, lodges are so sacred, you get to do them maybe every 3 months, every 6 months. We did it every week, every 2 weeks. That's unheard of. You ask anybody with sweat lodges around the world, and it got a bad name when somebody used it for money and stuff and made a lot of money on people. But these people have been doing it a generation and generations all over the world, the indigenous people, and they don't charge people. We give gifts. We bring in, we share food together. We don't charge people. We have people in Hawaii that find us out. They travel in here and they seek out our lodge where we're at, because those that seek it shall find it, David. That's the message. If you could go, you want to go to a psychologist, I would go to Ziji, your dear friend you woke up, you grew up for 25 years. If you want to think, go to the Ziji's website, Aura Healing
iPhone.com.
Or contact David and I, and we'll get you in contact with Ziji, because you could go counsel for 40 years, but he has a gift where you don't have to even counsel. He goes right to the core of what's going on with you. Same for me. Same for David. We all have these gifts. You do it through voice, and also your knowledge and wisdom that you have, you pick up. Especially with your mom, Lily, who wrote that book.
Holy fire. Holy fire.
Right, holy fire. I mean, come on. I mean, your mom and look what came through with Lily. I mean, I read it. I mean, holy fire is right.
You read the book?
Yeah. Huh?
Proud of you.
Yeah.
You enjoyed it?
Yeah, very much, very much, very touched by it when you sent it and all. And I have some other people that I want that to be sent to, so I'm going to get the information, have you send it over to them.
All right.
Yeah.
Great.
The holy fire. Yeah. Yeah. So we have a lot to be thankful for. I think it's the gratefulness of what we have in the moment. We'll see. Okay, God, where do you want me next? Or where do you need me? Okay, where's the source want me? Whatever speaks to you, whatever you're. In India, they have all these gods. There's a source, and I experienced that source, the golden sun, that central sun, and I experienced the living Christ and Mother Mary. And I kid you. Mother Mary handed me a white rose with 2 elders were with me, which I don't know if you're aware of. In Southern California, they had these waterfalls going, and they said, please don't do this, because they knew that I'm a teacher. I would teach this. They said, this is a sacred thing. I don't want you. This is for you. And Mother Mary appeared to me and handed me a white rose, just like you see the golden rose that I'm holding.
Yeah.
The pure golden rose. She looked eternally just to the side. It would blind you, the light the light that we're from. It would blind you on the earth plane. It would blind you with so much intensity of divine light. But she revealed herself to me, because my life's mission is to help people with purity. That is my life's mission. I've been naturally high since a child, and I have to work on it every day like everyone else. Everyone thinks, oh, well, you walk on water like Jesus. No, I have to work. I'm in the physical body. I have to work things out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
On a daily basis. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but there's so much for you to instruct. There's so much there. How do you,
Yes.
How do you shift people into this spiritual way of thinking, especially in these times that people are being brought in, I would say, through the darkness into a lot of fear, and I haven't even fathomed how that fear and what's going on today in the world is really maybe a challenge for those people who really want to be on a spiritual path, because this darkness is so prevalent. You know, those people that were on the path, either, you know, if they were strong Jews, Christians, Buddhists, or spiritual, on a spiritual path, I think most of them got derailed, and everybody's getting sucked into this rhetoric of fear. So I think it's a challenge for all those believers on any level, to maybe turn. We say in Judaism to return, to teshuvah, to return. So I think maybe we need to return to our spiritual commitment. Even those people who are on a very spiritual path might have gotten sucked in because of news, of family. I know some people are saying stay away from the news because you get sucked into, you know, that, you know, mindset, but also vibrationally, the energy is coming from the news. They, you know, not only do they distract you from what's really going on, but it's also an energetic thing. There might be energetic demons coming through the airwaves. So, you know, like I was saying, that I think we need to replenish our spiritual batteries. And
then the music, when I talk about, you know, when you said what people go through, I had the opportunity to go into the ocean yesterday, and it would be quite chilled in Hawaii, you would say, you know, from all the rain and the trades we have, the winds and all. And I'm telling you, we're talking the face of the waves to get in would be about 8 to 10 feet, and it's very dangerous. You got it in the Hawaiian waters. You got to know what you're doing, especially all the tourists that are here. It's unbelievable. I couldn't believe all the tourists and the people that have come here now since what's going on, and they're allowing it now because it's, you know, it's getting better and better. And finally to see them all, because it was really clear here when nobody was here, as you know. And when I went in, I hear a symphony because of the music with the whales. I go underwater. I'm a dolphin. I'm a golden dolphin. So I love to splash. And I'm a free diver. So I just have a mask on. I don't have no fins or nothing. I don't need fins. I have my own fins. You know what I mean? I just feel aquatic when I'm in there. Like Michael Phelps. Like he's you know, when he does his swimming, he feels like he's like part of the ocean. You know what I mean? Like his breath and all, what he achieved with his 22 gold awards, his medals, right? He said that you must have gills or something to do what he did, right? You know what I'm talking about, Michael Phelps. So by being in the water, I hear these beautiful creatures. They're miles away, but they're jumping up. They're tons coming out of the water. Nobody can even. How could you get tons coming out of the water and splashing, and not even disturbing the boats or the people? These are gentle giants that are what they're called the record keepers of time in the water. So we need to protect our reefs and everything, because this is their home. And same with the dolphins. Same with the sharks. We call them the Amakua, which is the ancestors here. They're not looking for you. They're not even interested in you. But you have to respect that the ocean is their environment. We're visiting. So I do prayer, and I throw water up in splashes, and I put my hands out to the universe, whatever it is, to be in homage, to be protected in the water while I'm there, and that I have an opportunity to be in that living water, which is the amniotic fluid. Why people get happy in the ocean or any kind of water, rivers of water, the running down the streams and all, it ignites your bloodstream, your body. It ignites the happy gene within you. In your stomach, it's called the amniotic fluid. When we're birthed as children, the mother, the amniotic fluid is in the salt in the oceans. That's why we need to protect it. Like Philip Cousteau is continuing on with us here, with Jacques Cousteau, his dad, with us in Hawaii. He is an advocate to speak out about protecting the reefs. And then I get out of the water, the woman goes, I go, namaste. Oh, I work with the reefs and everything. I said, well, I just feel I'm supposed to speak with you while I'm taking a shower. When I'm taking a shower, not like a little shower thing. This comes out like a flood of water. It's just a pipe they have, and the water comes out. You get a couple minutes. It's very cold, and your foot. You don't waste all this water. They just it floods your whole body where you get all the salt off. But you don't stay in the shower with the kids and run in it all the time. You can't, because you don't need to. People would shut those valves off. But that's the kind of shower we have at this particular beach, right? And when I went in the water and stuff, I got this message, and especially you with the singing, that it radiates this symphony throughout the ocean while they're coming in from Alaska in different parts, Seattle, around the world to birth. They're birthing their babies here in Hawaii during the summer months. Then they go back up in our winter months here. They're here, but in their winter months they're migrating back to Alaska in the summertime over there. But this is where they birth, and that's why they want to keep the waters with the whales, the dolphins, and all the creatures. Sustainability and pure in there, so they have their habitat that can be fruitful for their schools of fish. And when we eat the fish, you want things that are non-toxic. You know what I'm saying? Right. So we need to take care of that environment. Yeah. Mm. So, but when I went in, I'm telling you, I came out and I was flooded with so much love. I told you, the laughter. I can't stop laughing with the joy inside. Yeah, because we have the knowledge and wisdom, brother. We're the ancestors that learn from the ancestors, and that's what they do in Hawaii. They have their called kahuna and kapuna. They listen to them because they've seen their walk, and they see their walk is very pure, and they listen. I want to check with my kapuna, my elder. I want to check with my elder. Great. Hey, I know the elders. They actually go nose to nose with you. That's and they go forehead to forehead. You know what that means? If they go forehead to forehead with you, when they greet you, I'm talking. You're one. You're one and the same together. Forehead to forehead, and nose to nose is royalty. And they come nose to nose and forehead to forehead with me, no matter where I go. With the indigenous, with the Hawaiian ancestors. He's called the Hawaiian kingdom here. They have a king and queen, and Maui here, and all the islands they have kings and queens, and these are living kings and queens that represent Hawaii. And when I went to this event to help Hawaii, with all the elders and all, he stepped out of his position as a king and came over to me. And acknowledged me forehead to forehead and whispered over to me and said, "Thank you for coming. Thank you for helping my people." The elders come to me and they call, "Thank you for helping my people. Thank you for coming." Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Even Pastor Lucky, he married over 10,000 people. He was on Modern Family. He said to me when I was original Pihi, he does a facello. He's known all around the world as a high facello, operetta, high pitched voice. And the whole Pihi brothers are known all around the world for their Hawaiian singing, right? Globally, and Iz too. His name's Israel Kamola. Israel, we call him Iz, and he did the rainbow. Over the rainbow. You have to look it up. It is Israel. Come on. Well, what happens is there was an acknowledgement where thank you for helping my people. When I went with him and I stayed with them, and what a beautiful blessing. Thank you for helping my people.
Do you want me to
Thank
look
you
it?
for coming.
You want me to look it up on the internet right now? I could look it up for you.
Which one?
The Over the Rainbow.
Oh yeah, over the rainbow. It is I-Z. It'll say Israel Kamakawiwoʻole. There he is. You see him with the shaka? You see the Hawaiian in the middle? Somewhere over the rainbow.
Oh, that guy?
Yep, him. Yeah. If you put that in our interview, the whole Hawaiian nation will be watching this in Hawaii, and the world will speak of the music, the vernacular music. I'm telling you, when he crossed over, the whole Hawaiian nation, it was like a they had him as they mourned so much because he was, very young when he crossed over. But the whole Hawaiian nation, and I'm telling you, the whole Hawaiian nation, just, I mean, the truckers, you wouldn't believe the reception that he received as a delegate. They have him as a delegate, from Hawaii, globally. He's a global superstar. When you get a chance, if you feel to put in a little piece here or there, or the video, when we do something, or whatever, I think that would really get their attention here, that we're speaking about the ancestors of music, the vernacular of music that touches the world. He touched the planet from Hawaii.
High above the chimney top, that's where